Yes, it's y'all YouTube. Welcome back to the channel with some more Forza Motorsport. Now guys, this is the brand new Forza Motorsports title that launched on PC and Xbox Series X and S on the 10th of October. And I'm bringing you a full tuning guide, how to tune the cars, how to build the cars correctly for track. So to get the best lap times, the best performance and the best handling, just the overall best start your build. So it's going to be a full tuning guide on how to tune your suspension, your gear ratios, your alignment, your differential, everything. Your geometry and everything, your suspension geometry, the lot. So if you're enjoying the videos guys, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below on what you think to the videos. If you've got any questions regarding any of the topics that we cover in today's video, please feel free to drop that in the comment section down below, and as soon as I've seen it, I'll do my best to respond back with an answer to your question. So for tuning, I've picked the Honda Prelude. Now I really like this car, and overall when it comes to front wheel drive, rear wheel drive and all wheel drive, the tune is going to be on this car, but it's a basic tuning tutorial on how to tune cars in Forza Motorsport. So guys, this is how to build the car correctly. Now we're not going to bother too much with the fuel and air, we're not going to bother too much with the engine right now, and we're going to work on the platform and handling. So everything other than chassis and ballast we have on race. Now for the moment, the roll cage and the ballast, we're not going into them. I'm going to leave the roll cage, ballast and the aerodynamics for the actual spoiler and front bumper for another video. So guys, this is the correct way to build your cars. It don't matter if they're rear wheel drive, all wheel drive or front wheel drive like this Honda Prelude. All these parts should be the parts that you're aiming for. When it comes to your bodywork, again guys, this can be personal preference. As you know, with the Forza aerodynamics, unfortunately with a lot of cars you are going to have to stick that disgusting spoiler on the back and that horrible front aero as well to get the most out of your tune. But I do my best to make these cars unique and to make these cars fun, enjoyable to look at. Like this body kit on this is amazing. I hope they do put some more Hondas in at some point. With your actual alloy choice, just whatever you like the style of, but if you follow this build, how we have this build, this is how you build any car in Forza Motorsports to get the best handling, the best performance and just the quickest lap times out of each car that you're wanting to race. Now with the gear ratios guys, you will have to edit some of the gear ratios depending on the track, but we'll get to that later on in the video. Now I'm going to go through like a basic sort of like tuning setup here. So we're going to keep that as is. I'm going to save it. I will emphasize highly when you've built your car with all your upgrades, please make sure that you save your actual build and tune as is. Even if it's just the performance parts that you've put on, just make sure you have a save file for that build, and then we're going to work off of that. So as with all my tuning guides, the best thing to do is you are going to have to drive the car. So I do quite a lot of test laps and getting to grips with the actual tuning and the actual cars and the actual physics model, and I must say that this Forza title is absolutely amazing. So as you can see, we've not really done that much at all, just had a little look, and as soon as you've built it, don't worry too much about tuning it. You want to go and give the car a good test drive, and I use this to start off with, this track. This short Maple Valley track is really cool. It's got good inclines and declines, got a good looking tight corners, so it's a good track to take your car on and get an overall feel of how the performance upgrades have improved from the actual stock car. And I've not put it in this video, but I do go and drive the stock car as is a couple of times on a couple of different tracks, just to get a feel of what I'm working with. And with all front wheel drive cars, you do have to get a really good balance on turning on tight corners like this, maintaining grip and not oversteering with too much torque steer, where you're not putting any power down and your wheels are just spinning. You're putting excess heat into your tyres. So I'll always get like a base lap time out of the car with the performance upgrades. 48 seconds, it's alright, I suppose. There is a lot of improvement, a lot of room for improvement. Rear tyre pressures feel alright. With it being a front wheel drive car and front engined as well, do want a little bit more PSI than front tyres to deal with the weight. Yeah, gear ratios are really important. I will always suggest to do this with gear ratios, so always shorten the gear ratios and get them into a workable sort of spacing, so first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. After taking it out and seeing how it's pulling, I think it will benefit more from a close gear ratio, especially with this BHP, especially when we're going for a handling grip, and then when you want to put the power down, you're having that sharp responsiveness to maximise the most out of the engine, especially when at the moment we're not dealing with a huge amount of power. When it comes to the actual tuning statistics on the left, a lot of the times you are going to get them just dropping down into the red, but as you'll see through the tune, slight increment changes, and bear in mind, like, you can have 2 clicks to a digit, so 3244 and going up might be 2 clicks instead of 1, as with previous Forza titles. So just make sure that you pay great attention to editing and tuning these sliders very slightly. But I am quite used to tuning, so as you can see with the suspension and everything, I can kind of understand where we need to improve the suspension, the overall handling of the car. We do need to stiffen all the suspension up. And again, guys, I hope you can generate a lot of information from this video. I'm going to do my best. It's going to be quite a long video, but bear with me, because at the moment we're trying to get the stats on the left to go green. And again, as you can see, by not overly editing, so moving the sliders too far all at once, just slight increments, you will get an overall better tune out your car. I know it will take a little bit longer to tune cars, but the depth in tuning that is in this Forza Motorsport is really good. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, this video itself, I've been working on it on and off for like the last 3 days. So I've done over 400 laps on this in different cars, just getting to grips with the new physics model, the Forza Motorsport title, getting to grips with the cars, understanding the way the actual tuning works, because it is a lot more in depth, it is a lot more technical, a lot more detailed than we have had in previous Forza titles, whether they've been Motorsports or Horizon titles. So it's a really good game. I know it's got loads of room for it to be improved, so just stick with it, because hopefully we'll get more content added with updates. So we're going to bang this around for maybe a lap or 2. As you can see, I've done a little bit of chopping here, because I mean, my overall, when I'm testing the car in a tune, it's like I like to smash out maybe 5-6 laps, see what the overall time is, see where it is I need to work on it a little bit. And with the front wheel drive cars, I mean, it's probably like the best sort of car to start off tuning with, if you're a basic beginner when it comes to tuning in Forza. getting to grips and doing as much driving in the car as possible, doing as many laps as possible. It doesn't really matter what tracks that you do your driving on, but I do prefer this Maple Valley short track and the Le Mans 24 hour with the chicane, but you'll see that later on in the video. So yeah, I'm just trying to see what is, because it is, I can feel there is more to push. And again, as you can see with the little blue dotted markers, they are your track limits. For the purposes of my videos with them being tutorials, I will leave them on, just so you guys can understand how you can maximise using all of the track limits to maximise your lap times. And again, the more driving you do in the car on more tracks, the better. But first you've got to have a correct build. So again, follow the performance upgrade guide at the beginning of the video. Make sure you orientate all your parts to race, as long as you've got the room to manoeuvre with the race tyres and the weight reduction. And they only sort of hold you back within like B-class races for maximising BHP and stuff. But please make sure that you follow that guide for performance parts. So 46967, that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. So you can see how doing very minimal small changes and edits to the overall tune will help. If you did want to max this out, and again, when it comes to the engine and the fuel and air, you're going to see that you ain't got much room to work on when it comes to the B-class stuff. With engine swaps, this 3.7 litre V6 I found it is a Honda engine. Honda did do, I think it was an IndyCar engine, and I think that's it. And this engine as well is a Honda engine. I will throw links in the description down below on these two engines. So as far as I'm concerned, there's 3 engine swaps with this, because we do have a K20 as well. But I'll throw them links for them two other Honda engines in the description down below, so you can do a little bit of research. So the only real thing you can put on here is oil and cooling, and upgrade to the second stage on your flywheel, and that'll max it out to a B class. The tune with them little modifications, it don't really need that much editing, but again, we're doing a full build on this, so this is progressively tuning the car. As you see, we're going to upgrade the BHP later on in the video, and I hope you're getting some sort of information and some sort of knowledge out of this video, guys. I do feel the car without the Forza aero on the back is a little bit loose, a little bit wobbly, but please don't think that you just have to rush and just smash on that really ugly Forza rear aerodynamic spoiler, because as you see a little bit later on, all the bad characteristics in the car that you don't want there, that are going to impact poorly on your lap times and your overall race performance, all them nasty and unwanted horrible characteristics, with tuning you will be able to edit them out without having to just go full Forza aerodynamic from the rear of the car. Again, as I said, I like to make the cars look good. I really like body kit options for this Honda. I hope I can take a lot more Hondas performance just so we can bring them on from again, guys, I've got to say it's getting nice. manual gearbox. If you use the paddle shifters without the clutch, so have it in manual and use the paddle shifters, you'll be a lot quicker. You'll get more responsiveness out of the car, and you'll find that your lap times will improve. If you want a bit more realism for some cars, depending on what class you're racing at, by all means use the H shifter and the clutch. But if you're building for quick lap times and a straight out race build like we are building Prelude, then have it in manual and use your paddle shifters, seeing as we do have a full race gearbox. And again guys, I mean, we're pulling 46 seconds, so sub 47 seconds. I do feel that the car's got more potential in it, a lot more potential. But once we've done the little edits and we've gone tuning now, as you can see with the tuning stuff, we've not gone into the differential yet. And don't worry about your differential tuning, we're going to come to that a little bit sooner. And again guys, just getting your racing lines key. With your suspension set up, you want to be stiffening the suspension up a lot compared to what it is as stock when you just throw the race suspension on. So your front suspension, your rear suspension, always keep the front slightly stiffer, especially if it's a front engine car, because it's got to deal with the weight of the engine in the front. And that's about it for fully building this to a C class. I don't think there's any more potential in this car with this tune, with no more room for BHP. So now we're going to go in and we're going to upgrade some, not all. Another key point when tuning cars in Forza Motorsports, don't think that you have to OP the car and put loads of BHP into the car at all. Please leave like your engine, your fuel and air cooling till last. Please follow this guide as much as possible with your performance upgrades and with the tuning curve, from just being bolt-ons to actually being a tuned car. So again guys, we're going to go and we're going to give this car a good drive. Now when you are increasing the BHP on your build and your tune, when you're happy with it and you feel it's got no more potential at that class bracket, so that one we've left at C. Again, take the car out, drive the car. The car's characteristics going to change slightly, so this is where you're going to have to go back and start tuning. And you'll find it throwing around the weight from the front to the back a lot more. You'll find the body roll a lot more because you'll be carrying a lot more pace. So transitioning from left to right, corners, as you just seen there. And again guys, any horrible or nasty characteristics with the suspension, the alignment and the suspension geometry, we're going to be able to tune out all of them, so we don't need to use the aerodynamics that Forza make, because they're just horrible. So when we go back into the tune, with the gear ratios will increase when the BHP goes in. I know that might sound strange, but if you've seen from how we had the tune to how the gear ratios are set now with the added BHP, this is the correct way to tune your gear ratios in Forza Motorsport. Always make sure that you've turned the final drive down and you've got your gear ratios working. If you're using Maple Trap, follow this guide by all means, it works perfectly. And this guide will work on rear-wheel drive cars and all-wheel drive cars as well. I will be doing a separate video on all-wheel drive cars and rear-wheel drive cars, because again, each car platform is slightly different and it's going to be set up slightly in a different way, so don't worry about that. Them videos will be coming to the channel. So again guys, as you're going through your tuning process, always make sure that you're editing in slight increments, and you'll see that sometimes I'll turn them down slightly and then I'll turn them back up again. Again, don't worry too much about parts in your statistics on the left going red. As you see, we'll soon get them into green with editing. And again, I've got to emphasize so much, don't over tune the sliders, so it's slight increments, so like a couple of digits up a couple of taps up, and you'll see we'll start getting improvements, and then you'll see that reflect in your actual tune as it's on track as well. So with the differential, probably going to put it on 40, but we'll see. I'll test this now, and then we'll go from there. And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, you can't just test a car on one track, aren't you? We're going to hit more tracks soon later on in the video. It's a really, really long video, so it was really hard for me to edit, to be honest. And a big long video like this for me is not natural at all, to do a voiceover for this long. So if it's a rubbish voiceover, just say it's rubbish. But it's just that this game is so detailed. It was so hard for me to give you guys a really in-depth tuning guide without me showing you the whole process. So I do apologise for being such a long video, but it's the best way for you guys to understand how to tune your cars correctly, from the building process with performance upgrades to the actual tuning, to the tuning as you're test driving, to maximise the potential and get the fastest lap times out of your builds. So if you're enjoying the videos, guys, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as I've said previously in the video, if there's any questions, any help, advice or tips regarding anything that I've covered in this video, please feel free to drop that in the comment section down below. And as soon as I've seen the comment, I'll do my best to respond back with an answer to help you out on your problem. So I want to say a big massive shout out to all the existing subscribers who've been here since .day. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate your support, because if it wasn't for you, the channel wouldn't still exist. And I want to say a big massive shout out to all the new subscribers who have subscribed over the last few weeks and months. Again guys, that support just encourages us to keep going and making content for you, the viewers. So 45.5, really good. And it's probably the best way to put BHP and up the BHP of your build. So once you've got your build laid out and tuned with a really good solid tune like we've got so far on this Prelude, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into this track. Now for me, this track is a really good track after the short Maple Valley track to go and finalise and just fine tune and perfect the overall tune and build. Any of them nasty, because this track is so fast and so flat, you don't have a lot of forward and rear weight distribution from inclines and declines in actual track. Everything is a lot flatter, it's a lot more sweeping, and you can carry a lot more pace, and you can pick quite a few different racing lines. So it's a really good track to just find if there's any of them horrible tuning characteristics still left in the car, or anything else that you're not quite happy with that you just want to eradicate. So again guys, this is a really important part of the tuning process. So with the front wheel drive cars, under hard braking, steering in, you can feel the back end become very oversteering, start slipping out, and it will throw, as you can see there, it will throw off the overall handling of the car, it'll throw off the pace you're carrying, it'll throw off your racing line, and it's just not what you want. So if you pay attention to how we're going to edit the alignment and so forth in a few seconds, we'll see how we can edit out them characteristics of this Honda Prelude, with it being a front wheel, front engine car, of the rear end kind of just slipping out, and that's literally because there's no aerodynamics on this car at all. So there's no front aero on it, there's no rear aero on it, they're not editable parts. So don't think that you've got to just rush and, oh, the back end of the car's slipping out, it's not gripping enough, I can't keep it as tight on the racing line that I want. And all these things are going to benefit your lap times. It's going to benefit the overall handling of the car, getting the car as tight as possible in its frame of handling. So again, slight increments to these, and just follow the procedure that we do. And as you can see, I do a lot of driving in the car. I do a lot of testing. I do a lot of laps. We've done all-wheel drive, we've done rear-wheel drive, and then I thought I'd go to the front-wheel drive. And once I got the front-wheel drive stuff nailed, then I thought, right, I'll get this video up first, and then it'll hit you guys with a rear-wheel drive video on tuning and all-wheel drive. Just because they are slightly different platforms, so you do have to come at them a little bit different when it comes to like roll bar settings and wheel alignment, and especially the suspension geometry as well. Again, we don't have no weight ballast in this car, we don't have no chassis roll cage in it at all, there's no front Forza Aero, there's no rear Forza Aero, and as you know, when you're pushing front wheel drive cars, they can feel very loose on the rear end, they can feel unresponsive and can feel unpredictable, and again, it's just not what you need. So with the suspension, the alignment's very important, and the suspension geometry, any bad characteristics like that we've discussed and that you will find prominent and evident in front wheel drive cars, especially when you're trying to get quick lap types. And the more the bhp increases in the build, the more pace you'll carry, the more G's you'll pull, and the more the whole setup of the car in its actual footwork, so it's handling, its suspension, the tuning is going to have to be as on point as possible. So I hope, it's really hard as well for me to like transfer what I'm feeling in the wheel properly over in a video to you guys. So I hope that everything that I'm doing in this video is going to give you a real understanding on how to tune your cars correctly in Forza Motorsports for handling, gear ratios, quick lap times, and just the overall best build that can be with your chosen car. So again guys, please feel free to smash the like button, please feel free to smash the subscribe button, and please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Every like and subscribe helps the channel grow so much. Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon to get notifications on all the new videos as soon as they hit the channel. So with the overall tuning process of this, the game has just randomly given me a Evo to race against, so it'll be a good overall test because you are going to kind of like have to chase this car a little bit. So by all means, when you're testing your cars out, throw them in a couple of races like this, just one lap set up with just one driver tar, and that's all you'll need really to get an understanding of if your tunes are being beneficial or not. When it comes to the maple and we're doing the beginning of the tune, feel free to do like I say. I usually do like 5 to 6 laps. I'll get sort of the quickest time out of them, and then I'll get an overall understanding of where it is I need to be focusing on for the edits with the tune, and then I'll tune them with slight increments, always focusing on the suspension, always focusing on the alignment, always focusing on the suspension geometry, and always focusing on the gear ratios. And again, when it comes to suspension geometry and the differential, we leave that as the final finishing touches to your tune. All the bad characteristics we're tuning out the car with this process, all the good characteristics we're tuning to maximise their potential, and the car's feeling a lot more grippy, and it's feeling a lot more manoeuvrable to where I want it and predictable, and it's feeling a lot tighter, and yeah, getting there. So 39 seconds 3:12, it's pretty good. Tyre pressures are fine, I won't worry about your tyre pressures too much. With the suspension geometry, Always have a good read of the description on the right. It's really, really helpful, and depending on what you're feeling coming out of the car, so if you're feeling like there's too much oversteer on the front end, if you feel like there's too much oversteer on the rear end, if you feel like there's too much understeer on the front end, or if you're wanting to cancel out too much oversteer on the rear end, as with this front wheel drive Honda Prelude, and encourage understeer, I know it might sound silly, but on the back end of the car. Now just think about that for a second, guys. That, coupled with your rear alignment and your differential tuning, will erase all the loose rear end unwanted characteristics in front wheel drive cars, 100% without the aerodynamics being needed. And you'll see a vast improvement, really vast improvement. The roll centre, height offset, and anti-geometry percent is what you want to be focusing on there. And again, you've got to be tuning the good characteristics in and maximising them, and tuning out the bad characteristics with the build. That's what I'm doing with this Prelude. That's what you should be doing with front wheel drive cars. That's what you should be aiming for with rear wheel drive cars. That's what you should be aiming for with all wheel drive cars as well. I hope this tuning video is in depth enough, and as you'll see with the way the car's going to handle, you will have to get slightly used to each edit that you do with a tune, because again, I've got to emphasise tuning the sliders in very minor slight increments and not going overboard and tuning too much, and because it's a very detailed physics model, there's a very detailed tuning mechanic within this Forza Motorsport title. I'm really pleased with it, enjoying it a lot, so I've only got big hopes and expectations for the future Forza Motorsports. Let me know what you guys think to this new Forza Motorsport title. Do you think it's a good game? Do you think it's a bad game? I know it's a little bit empty at the moment, but there's going to be more content coming from Turn 10 with updates, so just stick with it, guys, because at the moment it's really fun. The tuning is what we've been looking for. With Gran Turismo 7, when it comes to tuning, for me, everything kind of felt like you could just tune it in the same way, and the Horizon titles have been pretty much sort of simplified so much now with drag tyres. I do feel like we can maybe, yeah, like there's always room to edit, as you can see, guys. So don't think that we've finished tuning. And I know, I'm sorry it's such a long video, and I hope you're learning a little bit here. Again, I'm gonna lower the rear suspension slightly. As you see, just gonna see what this runs at. Yeah. I think, yeah, I don't think we need to edit any of these. And again, guys, it's all gonna be from editing from what you feel through the wheel as you're driving the car. And that's the best way to explain an understanding of what you need to be doing when you're tuning. So any sort of like bad characteristic can be tuned out of the car 100%. And what we've done here when we've been tuning the suspension geometry, the differential and the alignment, we've been balancing the car out, we've been tightening all the handling up on that rear end, we've been tuning out the rear end sliding out and it throwing off the handling, which is throwing off your racing line, which is throwing off you maximising your potential for your lap times. Don't worry too much on having to go back to your gear ratios. And again guys, now to finish off with the suspension geometry, the rear alignment and the differential, the anti-roll bars, now we're going to bring them down. So with front wheel drive cars, you want to stiffen up the front anti-roll bars and you want to be reducing, making them softer, the rear anti-roll bars. So move the slider towards soft on your rear anti-roll bars, and overall with the suspension geometry settings, the rear alignment settings, the differential settings, and now finalising that with softening the rear anti-roll bar. We should have tightened up all the rear end of the car. We should have made the handling very, very tight, very, very precise, very, very predictable, and you should be filled with confidence to gather pace, momentum, and attack the corners, knowing that you've got the most control and handling possible to maximise the potential and gaining quick lap times. So again guys, Maple Valley short track, really good for the beginning of your tune, as you've seen in the first part of the video. I personally, this tune and all my tunes, I will be finalising on this track. Personally, I think that this track is the best to finalise your tune and perfect it 100% without a doubt. It's got sweep, wide corners, it's got these long flowing straights, and you'll get a real overall understanding on the final edits to your tune when you come from that Maple Valley short track over onto this one, and do a few races on this, one lap against one driver tar. Over the tuning process, it's thrown me out some Hondas at the beginning, and then it threw me out a couple of all-wheel drive cars, and then it'll throw you out a couple of rear-wheel drive cars probably. It just circles, or should I say cycles, the driver tar competitor randomly, I think. So again guys, if you're enjoying the video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. So I'm going to throw up the whole finalised finished tune now for you guys to have a good look over, and then we're going to go to the Le Mans 24-hour race and show you it racing against 24-hour driver tars. What do you think to the video? What do you think to the tuning guide? What do you think to the topics and subjects that we've covered in this video? If you found it helpful, if you found it interesting, smash the like button if you did, smash the subscribe button if you're new. Don't forget to the bell notification icon to get notifications on all the new videos as soon as they hit the channel. So what we're going to do now guys is we're going to throw it straight over into the Le Mans 24-hour track against 23 driver tires, and this tune, this video, this build is finished. So thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the rest of this Le Mans race, demonstrating the amazing tune that we've been able to tune, the amazing Honda Prelude race car build that we've built. Again, if there's any questions, any help, tips or advice that you need regarding tuning in Forza Motorsport, please feel free to leave that in the comment section down below, and as soon as I've seen it, I'll get back to you with some help and advice. Again, we do all our driving on the Logitech G920. We've been playing on the Xbox Series S. If you want to know my wheel settings and my base game settings that we play the game on, them videos are already on the channel, so go and check them out. There's a couple of other Forza Motorsport orientated videos for you guys. There's a playlist up as well, so go check that out. We're going to be hitting up with some more Forza Motorsport content very, very soon, so stay tuned for rear wheel drive tuning guide, all wheel drive tuning guide. Stay tuned for just more builds, more content. I'm really enjoying this game, hope you guys are too. This car's absolutely lovely. So until the next video guys, happy racing, stay safe, peace.
The challenging Porsche curves are one more surprisingly fast sequence at Le Mans that must be smoothly attacked every lap.
yeah.